Hey guys, Stealth here and welcome back to War on the Sea. Today it's time to send the North Carolina's battle group back home, because the North Carolina and the Amsterdam have expended a great deal of their ammunition. Now in the meanwhile, the forces around Guadalcanal have been seriously weakened, at least I hope so. I don't really have a full picture of what's going on here, but my plan is to take Guadalcanal with Task Force 9. They're gonna first pay a visit to the Santa Cruz Islands and then hop over to Guadalcanal. I have a fair amount of troops with me, I just hope it's enough. And considering the low amount of ammunition on the North Carolina, it's not like I can really shell that island. I could, however, use Task Force 10 to do that. So Task Force 10 is going to set a course. They're just going to park in front of Guadalcanal, and eventually, by the time that the other Task Force reaches it, shell it, weaken the forces there, and we're going to try to take it over. Moleemann is going to link up with the North Carolina's battle group to provide at least some ASW capability, because right now I don't have any. We still have an aircraft circling around ASW Group 2, considering of the Radford and the Jenkins, but I don't really consider that to be too much of a threat. Unfortunately, my aircraft carrier is still down for repairs. The Enterprise is going to take another 6 days to get back operational. So let's get these guys merged. Is that close enough? Yes, it is. Alright, North Carolina Battle Group, time to go back home. It's going to take us about a day to get there. Task Force 6 is still going home after having transported some supplies to Renal Islands. I still have 20 command points left, so I'm going to keep those in reserve. Ideally, I would of course buy another aircraft carrier, but those things are very expensive and not that likely to come in anytime soon. Grouper and Growler are also still getting an aerial contact. You know what? No, I'm not gonna start. Fine. Okay, we're gonna have to shoot down that aircraft, ideally. With a couple of submarines, no less. Leave. Let's set a course to where the enemy aircraft carrier could be, which is, well, somewhere in this vicinity, I guess. And let's see if the Grouper and the Growler have any chance of detecting that. Gato is still patrolling to the northwest of the Guadalcanal position, so that there are no further opportunities for them to resupply it. I'm going to set a course here, here, and here, because this is where they're going to have to go through if they want to position themselves to make it to Guadalcanal. If they somehow manage to get past the Gato, the other task force should still be able to intercept them. At least that's what I hope. Let's go to 1800 times speed. What is our next encounter going to be? It's probably going to be an aircraft of some variety. Ah, ASW-2 is done. Just going to set these guys in a box group. Unfortunately, no formation system that allows me to use waypoints to set patrol routes just yet. Oh, but these guys have arrived. I want to drop off some of the cargo. So I'm going to say to, I think it was the Warden? Warden check cargo. Yeah, they have troops. Now, I don't really want to unload all of them. That would be a bit much. Unload all. Must be within 6 nautical miles. Am I not? Oh, I guess not. That would explain why I couldn't drop it off from the destroyer. Alright, let's try this again. Dale, cargo. There we go. Alright, I want you to drop off the troops onto the Santa Cruz Islands. And the Santa Cruz Islands are thereby now under our control. I probably won't use them at the moment. They might prove to be an interesting position to launch a couple of aircraft from. But of course, ideally, I would do that from Guadalcanal. So that's where we're heading next. And the task force is going to take a little over a day to arrive there. In the meanwhile, TF6, the other supply group, is back home. I can resupply the Renal Islands, and I would like to position an airbase over here. I want to make Guadalcanal an airbase and a port, and these guys mostly an airbase. So in order to upgrade that to an airbase, I'm going to need the supplies, check. I'm going to need more engineering stuff and fuel. Which means that this task force is going to get augmented with a Cimarron. And the Cimarron is going to ship some oil. Done. Cargo. Fuel. There's no further fuel on the new hybrids. But as I have been informed, it gets resupplied once a week. Ah, crap. This is such an annoying system that I have to go into the world and then quit back out. Alright, I want you guys to make your way back here. Because then we can resupply them. There we go. Okay, I need more engineering supplies. And, let's see. They needed fuel there, and supplies, and something else? Or is that it? I have 2,000 supplies. Fuel's coming. Let's just bring another section of engineering materials. So, cargo, check. Engineering, not on you. You're loaded already. You're gonna bring the rest of it. And then I need to have this group here. 1, 2, 3, merge. There we go. Now the formation ideally is going to be led by the Fletcher itself, so we're going to swap these guys around and make sure that the Fletcher is at least the forward unit. Gives me just 5 points. A Fletcher is too expensive, but if I can get a destroyer for just a few points, then that would be great, because one Fletcher securing this whole convoy is a bit light. I would like a few more. 8 points. Unfortunately, I don't know if there is any destroyer cheap enough. Right now, it doesn't really look like it. No. Okay, that's unfortunate. We're just gonna have to take the task force over then, just under the command of the Fletcher. So set a course. 1.5 days. Time to get underway. Task Force 9's on the way, the NC's almost home, and Task Force 10 is still blockading Guadalcanal. Now, enemy aircraft near the Gato. Okay. I really do wonder what keeps sending up those aircraft. But without an aircraft carrier, I don't really have a good way of finding out. There's still something there. Set a course that way. To wherever that aircraft potentially came from. Hold on, this time around I cannot ignore it. So this time around it might be an aircraft that's actually armed with depth charges. Conditions are not that good for them. Oh. Never mind. Good luck finding a submarine in a storm like that. Enemy spotted near the Gato. Yeah, I get it, but... where is your aircraft coming from? I'm hesitant to send ASW-2 over there to scout it. Oh, there's more! Fine. Huh. This time around I cannot quit out of it. So there's a fairly high likelihood that I will get attacked by some form of airstrike. But it seems like they continue to struggle to find the exact location of the Gato. Similarly, I still don't know what it is that's launching these aircraft. And I imagine that sending out a submarine to scout the enemy position, while probably the safest option, is not necessarily the quickest one. As the quickest one would be an aircraft carrier. Now, the North Carolina has been making her way back to the New Hebrides base. Trying to get all of these guys rearmed. Check, all ships rearmed, excellent. That means I can now send them back out. And I'm going to send these guys... well, I'm considering sending them out here to see if they can figure out what else is out there. But... the North Carolina is only protected by the Amsterdam when it comes to anti-air. So it's a bit risky. I think it might be safer for now to have her... or, hold on, I could have her wait for the Enterprise. If it doesn't take too long. 5 days. Here's the thing with aircraft carriers. An aircraft carrier in this game is not really a tactical asset. It's more of a strategical asset, as I have found. They seem to work a lot better when it comes to an aircraft carrier that you do not actually use in a battle. And I know that that sounds strange, but the aircraft carrier itself should not be in the battle. Whoops. It should be the aircraft carrier's aircraft which make it into the fight, but if the aircraft carrier itself gets engaged, you're in trouble. Now, we have some sort of encounter with Task Force 10, I just don't know what, so I'm going to assume it's an enemy submarine. Fortunately, I have the Hull and the McDonough over there, and the Atlanta. Northampton is, I believe, not armed with anti-submarine weaponry, but the other guys are. Search for and engage any enemy forces in the area. Now, considering that I am expecting enemy submarines, I'm going to tell the whole formation to start turning around right now, and I'm going to do that manually. So I want everybody to increase the flank and turn to starboard. So turn that way at best speed. Hull, turn that way, increase the flank. McDonough, break formation, and increase the flank. Which in your case is 37, should be the same for the Hull. And then the Atlanta is 12 knots currently, increasing to full. It is terrible weather, and it's going to make it probably pretty difficult for me to find the enemy submarine. If there is a submarine. But considering I spotted nothing on the surface, I am assuming that it is. Nevertheless, I'm going to activate the radar on the destroyers and the cruisers. And the destroyers, of course, also sonar, and same can be said for the Atlanta. Now let's have a listen. Because sometimes you can hear the torpedoes being launched. Nothing. Okay, can I see the torpedoes being launched? As you guys have indicated in comments, it is not unusual to see the wake. But it is so dark that it is really hard to see. Northampton, as you would expect, has a far larger turning circle than the rest of the ships. Also, I gotta be careful not to ram these things into each other. Which sometimes they tend to do, and that, unlike old compatible Rednalls, does cause damage to the ships. What are we looking for? Anything below water level? If an enemy submarine was engaging this battle group, it probably would have launched it by now. So I'm going to assume that it is an enemy submarine, and that we are currently safe from it. Oh, hold on, a ship? Bearing 013. That's not quite what I was expecting to find. Oh shit. Oh shit. Wait, what? That's a lot of turrets on your bow. It's almost a flight deck on your stern. What are you? Nope. It's definitely not Chicago. It's not Congo. Is it Tone? It's the Tone. Right. What the hell are you doing out here? Okay, we're going to positively identify this ship. That one. That's Tone, and this is not Tone. 5 dual turrets, single funnel. Could be... no, it's not... It's not Alba. Miyoko? 5 dual turrets, right? Type 2. Number, 10 barrels. Secondary guns. 8. Secondary guns. Profile. Profile doesn't check out. This thing is supposed to have 2 funnels. I'm only seeing 1. Who are you? It's not Nagara. It's not Sendai. Atsuharu is a destroyer. Akatsuki is a destroyer. Shiotsu is a destroyer. Sashu destroyer. Kagero, Yugumo, These guys are all destroyers. Agano? Hold up. Agano has 2 turrets on the bow. And I'm seeing 3, so it's not Agano. Oyoda? Single funnel. But it has far more of a boxy thing on the stern, almost like it's a hangar. So it's not Oyoda. Takao class? Definitely not a Takao class. I am sorry for all of you history nerds who know exactly what the ship is the moment that you saw it. But I am not as well versed in Japanese ships. Momi class? No. It's not a Miyoko, right? I'm not just overlooking this thing as a potential Miyoko. No, Miyoko has 2 funnels. What are you? Mitsuki, Fubuki, these are all DDs, DDs, DDs. Furutaka? No, Furutaka has 2 funnels. I'm only seeing 1. I don't know. I believe I've had all of the potentials. At any rate, I'm going to have to reform my fleet now. Because this is definitely a job for the Northampton and her firepower. And considering I already have the Tone identified, I want Northampton to engage Tone. No longer following waypoints. Let's set it up like this. I want Northampton to target... For some reason, when I press T, it doesn't want to do it. Northampton engaging Tone. Atlanta engaging Tone. McDonough, you're going to set a course that way. Hull, set a course that way. Northampton, set a course this way. Just don't do it at full speed. I don't really want you ramming into the rest of the destroyers. And I want the Atlanta to slow down a bit as well, to ensure that the destroyers can pass it. And by doing that, potentially throw torpedoes that way. So slow down to 25 knots. Alright, here we go. So not a submarine, huh? No, a full-blown cruiser group. We have torpedoes, but we barely have a firing solution. The time is 4:15, so it's really dark. Time to send up some star shells. Get a bit of a better identification on these guys. I am crossing their T, allowing the Atlanta and Northampton to get a bit of a better firing arc than these guys. So hopefully I can make full use of that. Now at some point you will see star shells going up above these ships. Once we start getting the range. So the Atlanta does carry star shells. Quite a few of them in fact. 180 per turret. And for the rest of it, it's just full high explosive in the Atlanta. See, that's star shells, but that's what they were trying to fire at me. Yeah, fire star shells, Northampton. Looks like we're already getting some hits / narrow hits. Let's see, Atlanta. I'm going to manually throw the torpedoes in their general direction, seeing as I think I have an idea of what they're doing, which is turning to starboard. So I want to use the starboard launcher. And I want to throw out the full complement of 4 torpedoes. I'm going to switch that to manual. I'm going to say I want that over there. I'm going to set 1 degree, because the distance is 4,000 yards and they still will spread out a bit. There we go. Torpedoes are away. Now, the Atlanta is not particularly heavily armored, so I'm a bit concerned about her safety. Time to have you pull back a little. So you're going to set a course this way. McDonough, how are you doing for engaging the target? Yeah, there's more out there, pretty much as expected. Hull, engage Tone. Chance to hit at this point is terrible, because I don't have a firing solution from the destroyers at all. But we gotta start somewhere. At this point there should be some nice fireworks over the ships. Yeah, we got some star shells over there. Tone is starting to get hit. Seems to have some damage going on. There are definitely more contacts out here. Let's see if I can identify them as the battle develops. Are you a Tenryu class by any chance? 3 funnels. A couple of single turrets. I'm going to say target 3 is a Tenryu. Target 5. Destroyer. 4 turrets. Lost ship 5. Understood. Matsuki. What? No, she doesn't have the torpedo launchers for it. Sorry, this is the Fubuki. Mutsuki. Funnel, turret, funnel. Empty deck space, torpedo launchers, turret, turret. So you... target 4. Hold on, it's 2 Tenryus. Target 4 is also a Tenryu. We just lost target 5. We lost eyes on the destroyer. Engage the Tenryu, or at least classify as Tenryu. Manually classifying these ships makes it far easier to get a firing solution on them. That's why I'm working with that. Atlanta, new plan. Hard course port change, or hard course change to port, to throw out the port side torpedoes. Ow. Moderate damage and moderate flooding. The fire is the first priority. So I want that fire out. I just don't have that many damage control parties left. Good lord, there are a lot of ships out there. We have no spare torpedoes, so this is it. Range, 3,298 yards. Manual. Fire over there. Yep, torpedoes are being launched. 1, 2, 3, 4. Torpedoes are out. Atlanta, it's time to get your ass out of here. Increase the flank speed. You have done some decent damage, but you are getting mauled. Northampton, status. How's the Tone doing? The Tone has also sustained some serious damage. Northampton's solution is 30%. Keep it up. Keep blasting that thing with armor piercing. Look at those star shells over there. These things are getting lit up. In more ways than one. McDonough, unfortunately, has also taken a bit of a beating here. I want you to turn that way. And we're going to launch the starboard torpedo. Actually, no, we're going to launch all the torpedoes. Screw it, why not? Give me 2 degree separation. Fire in that direction. Now, whether these manual torps are going to hit anything, I don't know. We'll just have to see. The hull seems fine. Turn that way. I'm concerned about the Atlanta's structural integrity. Heavy damage to the Atlanta. Tone seems to be dead in the water. Potentially falling back or attempting to fall back. But look at the Atlanta. Damaged turrets, damaged torpedo launchers, the funnels are toast. The ship is on fire in several compartments and flooding in some others. This ship has issues. Now, what we have over here, I still don't exactly know. Could it be the Mogami here? Target 2? It could be. Yeah, it's a Mogami. So you are target 2, Mogami. Target 5 was the Minakaze. Where are you? Oh, sorry, the Mutsuki. Check. Target 6. Ooh. Don't you carry a lot of torpedoes? If you carry that many torpedoes... I would say you're a Shimakaze, but that's not in the list. Shiratsuyu? Torpedo launcher, torpedo launcher. No, it's supposed to carry one more. Not a Shiratsuyu. Yugumo? Torp. It's supposed to have 3 3 quadruple torpedo launchers. What else could it be? Akazuki doesn't have that. Kagero? Nope. It's not the Minakaze. It's not a Momi, definitely not. Hatsuharu? Doesn't look like it either. 8 torpedo launchers. This thing carries 12. So not a Hatsuharu, not a Minakaze, not a Wakataki, not a Kamikaze, I think. No. Kamikaze carries a few less torpedo tubes. Fubuki? Fubuki class. Hello there. Ah, shit. I misidentified that one. If you want to identify ships, you first need to have them selected. So press T, click the target, and then identify it. So this one was the Minakaze. Fuck's sake. You're the Minakaze. You, target 6, are the Fubuki. Identify. Or well, you're a Fubuki, you're not the Fubuki necessarily. How are we doing for ammo on this ship? We doing alright? Oh, we got plenty. Now, I'm surprised actually to find yet another cruiser group out here. Considering that we already sunk... Well, we sunk a few cruisers escorting a convoy. And then we also sunk a few more, I thought. And apparently not enough. Hard course correction on the Northampton, because the Mogami just did send out a few torpedoes. At least, I'm expecting that. Hull, no manual launch. Your torpedo target is going to be Mogami. So let's set the Mogami as the target, start building a firing solution, and it should go pretty quick. Especially since I have radar and I have those star shells overhead. I'm going to send all the torpedoes in that direction at a deviation of 1 degree to make sure that they don't spread out too much over a range of 6,000 yards. How's Tony doing? Not having a fantastic time. Target 6 lost. Okay. She's still trying to fight. But for all I know, this ship could be flooding badly. Firing solution is only 14% on the Mogami, as seen from the hull. Alright, hull, I'm going to have you do something a bit dangerous, which is push in a little. Northampton should be completing her turn. So Tona is not out of this fight yet. So if I can continue to butcher the Tona, that'd be great. But she is almost dead in the water. Switch fire to manual, narrow spread, target exactly over here. And fire when ready. By doing this, using armor piercing, narrow spread and a manual firing solution, I'm going to take the pressure off of the fire directors and potentially get a few more accurate hits in on the already heavily damaged Tone. Like that. Like that, exactly. Update it. Exactly there. I can even zoom in farther. Now, Northampton's perfectly fine. Atlanta, not so much. Hull. How's your firing solution? I know you've been turning a lot. Yeah, that completely threw off my own firing solution against Mogami. Unfortunately. How's Mogami doing? Mostly unimpressed. Okay. Ooh, you seem like you're listing. Pretty badly. Seriously badly, in fact. Yep, Tone is sinking. Excellent work. New target, the Mogami. Northampton, engage Mogami. Automatic solution. And the Mogami doesn't have any star shells over it, so let's fire star shells at her. I want the hull also to throw star shells. And she should already be doing that. Yep. Atlanta. Ooh. I don't think she's going to make it out of this one. Look at the damage on that ship. Yeah. Oh no. Well, it was bound to happen at some point that I would lose a ship. Oh, I still have my torpedoes in the water here, by the way. Here. Sort of... Oh. Oh! You're about to have some issues, aren't you, Tenryu? Depending on how many duds I'm going to score with this, of course. But that looks really good. Just a random torpedo attack in the general direction of the AI. And their fleet. Oh, come on. I'll take 2 hits, please. Really? Bingo. Tenryu struck by a torpedo. Northampton is now the new favorite target of the rest of the fleet. I'm gonna bypass the sinking Atlanta over there. The hull still has her torpedoes. The range is only 3,000 yards now. There's the Atlanta, oh, sorry, the Mogami over in the distance. Give me a manual firing solution. I'm going to assume that the Mogami is going to continue on her course. Send it. Torpedoes are being launched. Torpedoes out. Okay, hull, time to disengage. McDonough, status? Some flooding, otherwise fine. I don't want to lose the Northampton over this. It's very important. Unfortunately, I lost line of sight on most of their ships. Firing solution on the Mogami is still pretty terrible. Give me a full spread. Seize manual fire. How's the damage? Some fire. Port catapult launcher seems to be offline. I didn't even know that these guys had catapult launchers. A bit of smoke coming out of the Mogami, so she has taken some hits, but whether they're lethal hits, I don't know. This is a bit odd. I cannot see the guys on the map, but I can click around from ship to ship. Hello? What the hell? This is the damaged Tenryu. She got hit by the Torp. And that is the Minakaze, I think. Yeah. But if this is actual, then these guys just clipped right through each other. Oh, sorry, this is the Tenryu with a damaged stern. Mogami is not particularly happy about her fate. Northampton is okay. Hull and McDonough are flooding. Oh crap. Range is only 3,000 yards. It's time to increase speed and start turning away here. Firing solution? Ouch. 16%. Armor piercing? Shit, the A turret, sorry, the B turret's out. Oh crap. I don't mind a couple of destroyers, but I want the cruisers dead. That'd be a great victory for today, just getting a couple more cruisers killed off. Mogami's speed is a mere 8 knots. So if I can have the Northampton do another manual salvo on her, I might be able to sink her. Narrow, manual, fire. Here, because that's where she's going to be. Unfortunately, it looks like the bow turret is not available as I'm angled away too far. Let's do a hard turn to starboard and see if we can get some hits in. I'm not sure if this thing is going to get repaired at all. Yes, it is. It's back online. B turret's online again. Excellent. And it got knocked off again. Well, at least it didn't get a flash fire. It could have been so much worse. There are supposedly torpedoes on the way here, but I think they might have already passed. Yeah, this could be the torpedo set from the hull. So they completely missed the Mogami. And considering that there's nothing else behind it, it doesn't look to be very intimidating. Oh, there's several more going that way. Okay. Mogami doing a mere 3 knots now. Northampton, however, is also taking a beating. The manual fire. Narrow spread, yes. Target amidships on the Mogami. Amidship slash bow, because she's still doing some speed. So if I can hit her right here, there we go. That'd be great. Fire broke out. Now what I really do not want to be doing is fighting more destroyers in the dark. I'd rather do that throughout the day to give me a much better firing solution on them, because they're already difficult to hit as is. So I'm not going to stick around to figure out exactly how I can take those out. I want to finish off the cruisers. So the Tone is dead and the Mogami is next, and then try and see if I can leave. The Hull and the McDonough are already running away. So have you engaged there, by the way? Mogami is now dead in the water. That is excellent. That makes her an even easier target. Fire exactly at the location of the Mogami. Armor-piercing shells. How's the damage? Flooding seems to be under control. Integrity is alright. We have engineering, both fire and flooding. Starboard, no, port side turrets offline, the B turrets offline, and some of the others have taken an impact. But it came at the expense of 1 Atlantic cruiser and 1 heavy cruiser for them. So I'm not too sad about the state of affairs here. Mogami looks to be listing to port, potentially taking on a lot of water. There she goes, another good hit on the Mogami. Now let's see if we can hit her stern a bit more. If we can open up another section of the hull here, that could cause her to start flooding even faster, sinking her. And after that, I'm hoping to leave, which I can do in another 180 seconds. Okay, really close. She's still fighting. I'd say this was a fairly good encounter so far. Visibility 18%, sea state 5, no layer. It is unfortunate the Atlanta sunk, but the Atlanta was really not supposed to be the first ship to make contact. But I believe that... Was it her that threw out a torpedo and hit the Tenryu? Or was it something else? No, it might have been a destroyer, because I think it was 8 torpedoes. Hold on, Northampton stopped firing. Oh, that's because I wanted to leave. If you tell it to leave, the ship stops firing. That's the problem. Fire exactly at the stern of the Mogami. Right there. Alright. And there she goes. The hull. That's not quite the siren that I wanted to hear. But the hull is sunk. The destroyer is toast. The ship had critical flooding going on and unfortunately is no longer with us. More importantly, the Northampton still is. She's still fighting, and the Mogami, I believe, has ceased firing quite a while ago. She just needs a bit more convincing to sink. But my firing solution is not that good, aside from her, of course, being completely stationary. And that's what I wanted to see. Mogami is now sinking, and with the demise of that ship, it's time to leave this encounter, which I can do in 180 seconds. Finally, we made it out. Unfortunately, the damage to the Northampton and the McDonough is serious. Both have sustained heavy damage. I have lost the Atlanta and the hull. Nevertheless, I was able to sink 3 times the tonnage of my own lost ships, in the form of doing serious damage to the Tenryu, but of course she didn't sink, but Mogami and Tone did sink. The Tenryu, or at least the other Tenryu, Fubuki and Minakaze made it out unscathed, but once again I was able to sink some cruisers. This gained me 30 command points, and that might just be enough to recoup the investment on both the Atlanta and the hull. So maybe Task Force 10, once she's back and, well, let's say healed up, she's gonna come out stronger after sinking these cruisers. So, success. Just gotta make sure that these guys get the hell out. I will do one more thing with them, and that is to bombard. Execute. Holy shit, I'm sorry headphone users, that was fairly loud. Here we go again. And one more time. They may need to work on that sound effect. Now, after we have done that, it's time to go for a maneuver. Course, set a course back to our main base. And time to get your asses repaired, because this damage was fairly significant. And I would like these things to survive and fight another day. In the next episode, Task Force 9 is going to arrive at Guadalcanal. We're going to take over the island, and we're hopefully going to find whatever mysterious thing keeps launching aircraft over here in the, well, somewhere between the Coral Sea and the Solomon Sea. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I'll see you soon for the next one.